Morning. Wow, this is what happens when I take a moment, look at the camera. That's a huge mistake, isn't it? Because it's always reversed. I didn't come on here to do my hair. I came on here to talk to you about the second year, the third year, the fourth year of missing someone you love. The reason I'm doing this is because the last few days I have seen posts in different places of someone who's grieving and really hurting and expressing concerns about what the future will be like. Completely reasonable. I get that. And so often I see someone say, it never gets better. The one that just hits like a 2x4 is when I see someone say the second year is worse and every year is worse after that. I remember all those years ago when I could feel the progress of healing through the first year. Not all at once, but a little at a time. Days were getting better. There were so many moments of joy and light. And when I would see someone say, it's much worse in the second year, it would be as though the air had been sucked out of the room. It terrified me. But because I had been a coach for many years, and because I was in touch with so many people who were further down this journey than where I was able to say, is that really true? Does it have to be true? Is it a mandate as such? So I did talk to an awful lot of people who were further down the journey. I asked myself these questions. What I learned, what I have come to know and understand for myself, is that the second year is different than the first, as is the third, as is the fourth. If we think about going back to that very first day, and no, I'm not asking you to pull up all of those thoughts and feelings, wherever we are, most of us have not had a day that was that horrible again. When shock descended, deepest pain, anguish. And so we've seen progress a little at a time. It's not all at once, it's a little at a time. I encourage you to honor the steps that you've taken. Of course, I want you to honor the feelings that you have in full, not to dismiss anything, whether it feels good or it hurts. But to be honest with yourself to see, is it okay that this day is better? Because maybe Thursday was. To make room for the days that improve, just as we do the days that are really hard. The second year is absolutely going to be different than the first, but it's not like a door opens on the anniversary or the angelversary, that date, whatever you call it, if you refer to it by something specific. This is gradual, just like everything else. It's gradual. What happens for most is that the fog of shock is lifting. Again, this is a little at a time for everybody. And so when we're entering that second year, we're no longer going through the first. We're realizing, oh yeah, this is real. It's a new, not new, it's a different level of reality that settles in. Perhaps you're finding more acceptance now, or not, but there have been shifts. This continues along as we continue to grieve and to welcome healing. I encourage you to be aware of the shifts. Will the second year be worse than the first? I've truly found every year to be easier, to be more gentle, This has been a very deliberate choice on my part to acknowledge the wins, so to speak, to acknowledge the progress. When I work with clients, we spend a lot of time focusing on what's actually happening to you today. How about this week? Can we take a longer look? Has every day truly, this is not a question I ask with judgment, but with awareness. How did the morning feel? Were there moments that were really hard? Let's be compassionate and understanding about those moments because it matters. This is not about ever discounting or eliminating support. It matters forever. Were there moments that felt better? Did you listen to a song that made you wiggle a little bit? Can we acknowledge that? Can we be aware of it? Generally speaking, again, this is general, things become easier and more gentle as we go along. We're not leaving the one we love behind. We're bringing them with us in a different way. That second year, that third year, the memories don't fade. They might shift. Maybe the voice is not as clear in our head. For some it is, for some it's not. And that too is very individual. It is different than that first year. It's different. I'd love to hear from you. What has been your experience? When someone tells you something, how does it feel for you? Like I say, when somebody would say that to me, it felt as though it was incredibly painful, and I felt as though it was a life sentence. On the other hand, when I'd talk to people who were further down the road and they'd say, it will shift, it will change, there'll be really hard days, but they won't be the same as they were in the first year. It felt opening. It felt like a release. Here's the piece that I find really interesting. When I would talk to someone who was further down the road and they would tell me things could get easier, it not only supported my own belief, but it helped me to open up those possibilities and to acknowledge the days that felt better. It was almost as though they gave me permission to enjoy a day a little bit more. So let's think about what we're saying to one another. Let's think about what we're saying to ourselves. That connection we have with the ones we love is real. It's forever. Let's talk to them. Let's connect with them. Let's walk into the second year, the third year, knowing we're never alone, knowing that we are building in resilience, because we absolutely build resilience, knowing that healing happens one heartbeat at a time. And you've done so much. Honor your heart. Absolutely honor your grief. Honor your healing. I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity, your Master Grief Coach and Master Grief Coach Trainer. I wish you a day that's gentle and peaceful and has some really good belly laughs, because who doesn't feel better when they have a few moments of laughter? Namaste.